Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya Jayo Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya Jayo Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jayo Jayo Sri Chaitanya Jayo Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Nidai Gaur Premanande Gurave Gaura Chandraya Radhikaya Tadalaya Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namani Gaura Tveshe Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivas Adigaura Bhakta Vranda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, you are all welcome for morning Chaitanya Charitamrita class at Sri Gaur Nitai Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Chakra Srila Prabhupada's Mercy at ISKCON Zurich. We are reading from Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, chapter 24, and verse for today's discussion is 260 and 261. So Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pastime of Lord Chaitanya, is divided into three sections. From his birth till he takes sannyas is called Adi Leela. After taking sannyas for 6 years, he is traveling through South India to Vrindavan and other places. Is called Madhya Leela, that is a preaching mission. And the rest 18 years, that is called Madhya Leela. And the rest 18 years where he stays in Jagannath Puri in a deep meditation and a Radha Bhav, that's called Antya Leela. So we are almost at the last but one chapter of the Madhya Leela. The heading of this chapter is Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is asked by Sanatana Goswami to explain the different meanings of Atmaram verse. Atmaram verse in first canto of Bhagavatam chapter 7 verse number 10. This Atmaram verse is classifying the devotee like Sukdev Goswami. They are already liberated, how they are attracted to hear Bhagavatam. Atmaram Sammunyo Nirgantha Urukarmaha. So this is the verse which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described in 18 different ways. So Sanatana Goswami wanted to know the explanation of this verse, which Mahaprabhu has already described to Ramananda Rai and other people. So Sanatana Goswami in Jagannath Puri is asking this question. Now, in this section which we are discussing is the explanation of Nirgrantha. Nir means no, and Grantha means scripture. Like we say, Grantharaj Bhagavatam. Grantha means scripture. So this Nirgrantha has many meanings. One of the meaning is those who don't know scripture, still by association of Vaishnavas, a great devotee, they can become devotee. So one meaning of Nirgrantha means those who are not trained in Vedic Varnashram system. Those who don't know the import of scripture. They, by association of devotee, can be delivered and become a Vaishnava. So this is the theme of the verse. The speaker is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and listener is Sanatana Goswami. And the place where this discussion is taking place is Jagannath Puri. And when this point Mahaprabhu wanted to elaborate that those who are uneducated, uncultured can become Krishna conscious by association of devotee. So this is the theme of the verse. Now the story which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is telling to Sanatana Goswami is of a hunter, Mirgari. Was uncultured, uneducated, living in jungle, and hunting was his business. But by association and instruction of Devarishi Narada, he became a great Vaishnava. This is the whole story which starts from almost verse number 230 all the way till the end of this chapter. So this section is the explanation of Nirgrantha, those who don't know scripture. And by the association of devotee, they can become exalted devotees. So this is a whole section. Now, when Mrigari was convinced by the preaching of Devarishi Narada, then Mrigari said, how can I be maintained? Narad said, I assure you, because Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyam. What you lack, I will provide, and what you have, I will preserve. So I have full faith. I will provide you and your wife all the things. Then he said, then just give me instruction, I will follow. What should I do? He said, first, whatever you have asset in your possession in the home, distribute to the qualified Vedic Brahmanas, those who are serving Supreme Lord. Keep only the cloth on your body. You and your both wife, then come to the forest. Then he said, what should we do? And this is the verse which we are now discussing. Narad's instruction to Mrigari after leaving home, going, distributing everything in charity, and just keeping what is necessary for keeping life and soul together. Then Narad says, Nadi tire eka khane kutta kuttiya kareya. Nadi tire, Nadi means river. Tire means on the bank of river, nadi tire. Ek khani kutira, ek means one, khani kutir means make a thatch roof. It's just small, kutia means sub one room. Kariya means do that. Tare aage, ek pindi, tulsi ropiya. In front of your small thatch roof hut, you cultivate one tulsi plant. In front of your house, the traditional Vedic way, you go anywhere in the Jagannath Puri, you will see in front of every house, there is a raised platform on which the Tulsi Devi is there. In front of all houses, there is Tulsi Devi. So you plant a Tulsi plant in front of your home. This is the first instruction. Build a small, simple thatch roof hut. Prabhupada give the description how to make this. Have the four poles and put some leaves on the top and clean from inside. This is your thatch roof. That's what the purport says. And just live in that. And plant a Tulsi plant in front of your home. So this is the translation. Narad Muni continued, leave your home and go to the river. There you should construct a small cottage. And in front of the cottage, you should grow a Tulsi plant on a raised platform. So this is important, on a raised platform. Okay? Raised platform, like you come in our Vrindavan temple outside, there is a raised Tulsi asan, you put the Tulsi on that. It's made of marble. So in front of all house, there should be a Tulsi plant. Now the next verse, what should I do? He said, what should I do with that Tulsi? Then Narad says, Tulsi parikarma kara Tulsi sevana nirantara Krishna nama Krishna kirtana Tulsi parikarma kara Tulsi sevana nirantara Krishna nama Krishna kirtana Tulsi parikarma kara Tulsi sevana nirantara Krishna nama Krishna kirtana. So this is the verse which has a purport. We'll read this. After planting the Tulsi tree before your house, you should daily circumambulate Tulsi plant. Serve her by giving her water and other things, and continuously chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, this is the beginning of a spiritual life. This is the beginning of a spiritual life. After leaving householder life, one may go to holy place, such as bank of the Ganges or Yamuna. Where there are sacred rivers, that is called holy place. So go to the holy place after retirement. A small cottage can be constructed without any expenditure. 4 logs serving as pillars can be secured by any man from the forest. The roof can be covered with leaves, and one can cleans inside. Thus one can live very peacefully in any condition. Any man can live in small cottage, plant a tulsi tree, water it in the morning, offer it prayers, and continuous chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So Prabhupada visited once the ashram in Gurukul in Vrindavan, and at that time the temple commander was Brijendananda Maharaj from Malaysia. Prabhupada said, anyway, these are all concrete rooms we have constructed for the society to run, but I am happy to sit under the tree and chant Hare Krishna. So this was his mood, sitting at the bank of river under a tree. Even Prabhupada said, sometimes we don't need some cottage. Like Raghunath Das Goswami living at the bank of Radha Kund, having no cottage. So one day it was a scorching heat, and Radharani was using her veil to cover Raghunath Das Goswami from the scorching heat, and Sanatana Goswami saw this. And he told Raghunath Goswami, we are here to serve Radharani, not to engage her in service. So please, you construct small thatch roof, a cottage, and live in that. Don't live without cottage. So Prabhupada writes, sometimes we even don't need some cottage. Just live under a tree like the Goswamis used to live, move every 3 days. This is something, this is very, in Vrindavan I was in a Gaushala wandering in 92 or 93, sometime like that. So somebody met me, I don't know who he was, I never saw him again. He said, what are you doing here? He said, I'm looking some home to settle in Vrindavan and do bhajan. He said, oh, you fool. You want to do bhajan and you want a home? This is contradictory. The Goswamis lives here under the tree. If you want to do bhajan, live under the tree. He told me that no home. Vrindavan, you want to do bhajan like the Goswamis were doing. And Prabhupada writes in our Nectar of Instruction that we have to follow the 6 Goswamis of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That is our standard. And they were serving Radha and Krishna, and that is our goal, to love and serve Radha and Krishna. And this is only the reason we have joined Krishna conscious movement. The purpose of joining Krishna conscious movement is to awaken the love of God, which is ingrained in everybody's heart. And the process for awakening that is what Narada is teaching. They have a tulsi plant, and Srila Prabhupada writes in one of the purport in Srimad Bhagavatam, in a Western world there was no tulsi plant, and we wanted tulsi. So we are thankful to Her Grace Govinda Dasi, and this is in the purport of Bhagavatam, that she started planting the tulsi from the seeds. Now we have tulsi in all our centers. So Prabhupada in Bhagavatam purport, something is eternal, 10,000 years, his books are the law books, and the name of Govinda Devi is imprinted there, that she planted tulsi. And she's the pioneer of actually bringing the tulsi to the Western world. Tulsi is one of the item of 64 items of sadhana bhakti. Tadiya. It's called Tadiya. I can read this, the glories of Tulsi from a Nectar of Devotion, where serving the Tulsi and the other things, seeing Tulsi, what are the benefits? Yadrisha nikhila agga. Yadarsh, if you see Tulsi, nikhila agga, all the sins are destroyed. This is 53 item of Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti. The bhakti in practice, sadhan bhakti, out of the 64 limbs, this is 53. This says, Tadiya Sevanam, service to the things related to Lord. And if you remember one of the verse, Which worship is the best worship? Aradhanam Sarvesham Vishnu Aradhanam Param. Of all the worship, Vishnu worship is topmost. And then Tadiyanam Samachara. But higher than that is worship the great devotees of the Vishnu. They are called Tadiya. Tadiya means in relation to Lord. So Tulsi is Tadiya. Tulsi is Tadiya, means Tulsi is related to Krishna. And service to the Tulsi is one of the potent ang of sadhan bhakti, which is instituted in all temples in the ISKCON, morning and evening, worshipping Tulsi. So ya drisha, seeing the Tulsi destroys sins. Ag means sins. So by simply seeing Tulsi, ya drishta nikhila sanga samsani shamani sam akhila sanga shamani. Shamani means destroy. So by seeing Tulsi, all the sins are destroyed. Next verse says, Sparashta vapuhu pavani, touching her purify body. Just touching the Tulsi purify body. In Sanak, you know, the old Dadu in Vrindavan, after Parikrama, he used to touch the Tulsi like this. This is touching Tulsi purify the body. And then it says, Roga nam abhivandita. Bowing to her, destroy all suffering. Roganam abhivandita. Abhivandita roganam nirshani. Paying obeisance to the Tulsi, destroy all suffering. And then, sprinkling her with the water delivers one from death. Shikita anta kammatarashini. This were sprinkling some water. The Mataji were taking care of the Tulsi. They have them some spray. They spray the water on the Tulsi. And by that, they are delivered from death. This is the sprinkling her with the water, deliver one from death. Sangropita, bestow attachment of the mind to Krishna. Planting her. If we plant her, if somebody plants Tulsi, what is the benefit? Samoropita, bestow attachment of the mind to Krishna. Bhagavata Krishnasya pratyaha sati vidyayani. What is the only one rule of sadhan bhakti? Somehow or other attach your mind to the lotus feet of Krishna. Yena tena upayana Krishna padaravindayo. And by simply sowing Tulsi, one get attachment, one's mind get attachment to Krishna. And then it says, offering her Krishna's lotus feet, bestow special liberation in the form of prem. But when we offer the Tulsi to the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, every day, I have some chandan Tulsi from the lotus feet of Lord. Somebody gave me a special, they used to make a special preparation Tulsi offered to the lotus feet of Lord with sandalwood. And the fragrance of that sometime enter in the nostril of a devotee. You smell that, the great four Kumaras become a great devotee in ecstasy. So that fragrance from the Tulsi and sandalwood applied to the lotus feet of Lord, it gives a special type of liberation in the form of prem. This liberation does not mean that one dies. One living. This is called Jivan Mukta. Yasya Hari Dasya, one who thinks I am the eternal servant of Hari. Nikleshu avastasu, in all the circumstances, manasa, karma, vacha, by the mind, words, and by his body, Jivan Mukta Sauchyate. He is liberated. He is already attained the love of God. So simply offering the Tulsi to the lotus feet of the Lord delivers one special type of love of God. What type of love of God Tulsi has? Raga Noga. Every day we are practicing Raga Noga Bhakti, but we don't know because we are not at that platform. But we are telling the Tulsi Maharani every day, Kunja Diyo Vas. Namo Nama Krishna Tulsi Kriya Krishna Priyasi. So we are every day we are practicing Raga Noga Bhakti, but we don't know this because we are not at the stage of Nishta. Because after the stage of Nishta, and when somebody has a special greed, then he is entitled to start Rag Anoga Sadhan Bhakti. Only two requirements. One, greed, laulyam, laulupyam, lalsa. You know lalsa, the word lalsa? The greed is called laulupyam, lalsa. Lalsa. And second thing, one must be at the stage of anartha nivarti. Otherwise, before that, if you try to practice Raganoga Sadhan Bhakti, it will be like cheap thing, sajya. So at least he must be at the stage of anartha nivarti and come to the stage of nishta. Then, this special type, Tulsi, worship of Tulsi, offering the Tulsi. And the last thing is, I offer my respect to Tulsi. Tasya Tulsiyaye Namaha. This is from Skanda Puran. And this whole story of Miragari is from Skanda Puran, which Narad is quoting. This will come in the upcoming verses. Some verse from in Sanskrit in the last part of this section, which says this story is from Skanda Puran. This Mirgari's name is written as Skanda Puran, and he was delivered by Devrishi Narad. So now the another Tulsi's Drishta sprasha tatha dhyayata kirtaya mam namita shutta stuta ropita sevita nityam pujita tulsi shubha navadha tulsim devim ye bhajanti dine dine yuga koti sahasrani te vasanti hari grahe. This is also from Nectar of Devotion. Rupa Goswami says, those who worship auspicious Tulsi daily by 9 processes. So like now the Bhakti, there's a 9 process to worship Tulsi. By 9 processes, namely seeing, touching, meditating, glorifying, offering obeisance, praising, planting, serving, and worshipping her, live in Lord's house for 10 billion yugas, Skanda Puran. So he's living in house of Lord. It means he become like associate of Lord. He become associate of Lord by simply Tadiya Sevanam. So this is Tadiya Sevanam. So now we are going back to our purport. How to worship Tulsi, which Narad says, this is the way to worship Tulsi. These 2 verses from Skanda Puran are suggested and quoted as a evidence for Sadhan Bhakti Tadiya Sevana. Now Srila Prabhupada writes, thus one can live very peacefully in any condition. Any man can live in small cottage, plant a Tulsi tree, water it in morning, offer it prayers, and constantly chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by Kulinagram. Kulinagram is a name of a village, and the head of that Kulinagram was Satyaraj Khan. They asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu this question 3 times. 3 times. Every year they used to ask, we are grasta, we are householders. What is the easiest method for us to become Krishna conscious? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Vaishnava Sevan Krishna Kirtan Sigar Pai Krishna Charan. If you serve the Vaishnava and you chant the holy name, you very easily get Krishna Prem. the lotus feet of Krishna. Two things only. Then he asks, who is Vaishnava? Because Vaishnava Sevan, then the question is, who is Vaishnava? And what is Vaishnava Sevan actually? Vaishnava Sevan means hearing from the Vaishnava Krishna Katha is Vaishnava Sevan. Hearing Krishna Katha is Vaishnava Sevan. Satam prasangam mamvirya samvido. Satam is a devotee. Satam means devotee. Sat is Lord, and one who follows the Lord is called Satam. And prasangam means prakristena rupena sang, means close association. Satam mama virya samvido, hearing about my powerful pastimes. Karana rasayan, when they enter into the ear, they are nectar. And they purify and they open the door for liberation, and the bhakti will come from Sardha to Bhav to Prem. Step by step they manifest. So actually devotee service means hearing from devotee. This is the standard of devotee association. So associate with devotees and chant Hare Krishna. And then he said, who is devotee? So first time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, one who chants once Hare Krishna is devotee. Next year, same question was asked, and he said, who is devotee? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, one who constantly chants Hare Krishna is a devotee. And the third time when same question was asked, and Mahaprabhu said, one by seeing that person, somebody chant Hare Krishna, that is Vaishnava. So actually, this is a description of three types of Vaishnava. First time is a Kanishta Vaishnava, second time is a Madhyam Vaishnava, and third time is a Uttam Vaishnava. So Vaishnavas are in three categories, Bhagavat, Kanishta, Madhyam, and Uttam. And Srila Prabhupada wanted actually at least the devotees and Krishna conscious must raise themselves to Madhyam stage. This was Srila Prabhupada's desire. The devotee must try and endeavor to come to the Madhyam stage, because then only he can preach. Then his preaching is effective. And what are the characteristics of Madhyam? He has an attachment to Krishna. And he has a very thorough knowledge of scripture. Shastra Nipuna. He is very perfect in knowledge of scripture. And his faith is very strong towards Krishna and towards the scripture. But he's not very competent in logically defending or debating. But he has a great faith, and he's fully versed with the scripture. And then there are three other characteristics of Vaishnava, how he deals with the other Vaishnavas. The Madhyam Vaishnava, he respect and serve the advanced and self-realized sadhus. He become friend with equal devotee, those who are at an equal status. And this is called Maitri. You know, when the Maitri comes, in Bhagavatam, 10th canto, 7th chapter, first and second verse describe the 7 benefits of hearing Krishna Katha. The 5th benefit is Sattvam cha Shuddhet. Our existence is purified. And what is the next 8th is Harao Bhakti. Then we'll get the devotion to Hari. And the last benefit is like Tadiya. Tata Purusha Sakhyam. We become friend to the devotees of Krishna. So Tata Purusha Sakhyam is the last benefit after Hari Bhakti. That we respect the devotees and then become friends of the devotees. Mahaprabhu says only rare thing in this world is to get the association of devotee. And worst suffering in this world is to be separated from the Vaishnava. So Madhyam will have a Tad Purusha Sakhyam. He become friend to the equal. And then he is merciful to the innocent. Those who are new devotees coming, he is very merciful. And this mercifulness is actually the impetus for preaching. And Srila Prabhupada says in Bhagavatam, Nirmatsranam Satam. Nirmatsar means 100% pure. Srila Prabhupada described this world 100% pure. Nirmatsranam. Matsar means enviousness. Matsar means fault finding. Matsar means becoming dvesh, having dvesh. Dvesh means hating somebody else. So that is called Matsar. And Bhagavad Gita, 9th chapter says, only the most confidential knowledge is available for those who are non-envious. Who are non-envious is first requirement to learn the transcendental knowledge. Anusuyave. Arjuna, because you are non-envious, therefore you are qualified to get this most confidential knowledge. Anusuyave. And second thing is Shraddha. You must have a full faith. Without faith and without non-enviousness, it is impossible to imbibe the transcendental knowledge, even if it is available in front of you. So two most important characteristic for getting the most confidential knowledge is non-enviousness and faithfulness. Faithfulness and non-enviousness are most important. Srila Prabhupada writes in one purport, as this is the sign of advancement of a devotee that he is becoming non-envious. This is the criteria of advancement in devotional service, that how much he is non-envious. And therefore the Uttam Adhikari is called Ninda Adi Sunya. He is free from criticizing, which is enviousness. Ninda Adi Sunya. This is the nectar of instruction verse glorifying the Uttama Bhakta or the topmost Vaishnava. So he's dealing with the different Vaishnavas, respecting and learning and serving from the advanced Vaishnava, having a heart-to-heart friendship with equal Vaishnava, and merciful to the new innocent devotees. And fourth thing, he is indifferent to atheistic people. His upeksha. Upeksha means not hating them, but not associating with them. There's in a Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, there's a verse which is called the seed of bhakti, or is called the bhakti in nutshell. Mata karma kirta. Number one is mata karma kirta. Do work for me by your body. And Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada writes, it's very easy. You can have garden, plant flowers for Krishna. You can have fruits for Krishna. That's use your body to serve Krishna. This is the purport. Mata karma kirta. And second is mata paramo. By your mind, you make me the goal of your life. Mata paramo. You engage your mind in always achieving my lotus feet. And the third is Mada Bhaktaha, which means love me by your heart. Three things. Work with body for me, attach your mind to me, make me the goal of your life, and with heart love me. And then Nirvair Sarvabhuteshu. Don't have enmity with anybody, asang, but not attached to them. You should not be associating with them, but you should not be enemy to others. Not associating does not mean that we are hating them. Not associating means we are not imbibing their character. Why? So what is the problem if we find fault in others? You know what is the problem? The problem is those faults will come in us. If we think of finding fault in others, those findings will come in us. If we find good qualities in others, the good qualities will come in us. Therefore, it's said, become gunagrahi. Guna means good qualities. Grahi means accept. Become gunagrahi. Once somebody came to meet Srila Prabhupada. I think it's a pastime somewhere in Bombay. The secretary was sitting outside. The person, maybe he was smoking cigarette, which was apparent from his, breathing. And he wanted to see Prabhupada. And he entered Prabhupada and talked with Prabhupada for some time. Got some prasad and left. Then secretary said, Prabhupada, such people who are not following any rules and regulation, they're wasting your time. Prabhupada says, how many people are in Bombay? Say 100,000, say many 100,000. Say, how many are coming to the temple and meeting me? He said, hardly few. He said, you don't find the good thing in that person that he wanted to see a sadhu, and you only found the bad thing in that person? And then Srila Prabhupada said, a principle, that the devotee should be like honey bee. He may go and associate with a bitterest plant like the neem or bitter melon, but he can take honey out of that. So devotee should like a honey bee. Go anywhere and collect the good things. He should never be like an ordinary fly which sits on the wounds or a filthy places. So this is a standard for a devotee, to be like a honey bee. Find good things in the people, those things will come in you. If we find the faults in others, the faults will come in us. Therefore, it is better not to find the fault. And one of the purport in Bhagavatam says, since the most dangerous offense is Vaishnava Aparadha. It's like a mad elephant. Aparadha means, what is the meaning of aparadha? Aparadha, Vaishnava aparadha, Nam aparadha, offenses. The worst offense is offending Vaishnava. And then Srila Prabhupada writes, there's a verse in Bhagavatam, we don't know who is Vaishnava. Sometimes you cannot recognize Vaishnava from outer appearance. Therefore, Bhagavatam says, it is better not to hate anybody, to avoid this risk of offending Vaishnava, because we don't know who is Vaishnava. Like Rupa Goswami was chanting and he was seeing within his heart the pastime of Radha Krishna, but somebody who was a lame person just walking in front, and he did not see him, but he was laughing, and that person thought he's offended me and he's laughing for my limping. And from inside, his ecstasy disappeared and he opened. He said, what happened to me? He went to Sanatana Goswami. He said, my dear brother, this happened to me. I was chanting and my heart became like television, Prabhupada said. And there was a continuous pastime of Radha Krishna going on. But then now I don't see anything. It's just blind. Everything is blank. He said, you must have offended some Vaishnava. He said, I don't know. Not knowingly I have done this. He said, maybe unknowingly. He said, how can I know now? He said, invite all the Vaishnava in the area for prasad. The one who will not come is offended. So that person did not come. So Rupa Goswami approached that person and said, why did you not come? He said, how can I come to you for taking prasad when you are laughing on my limping? So when? I never did that. He said, on that day, at that time, I was walking and you were sitting and you were laughing. Rupa Goswami said, I never saw you. This was my personal realization. I cannot tell anybody, but since you are offended, so I want to get forgiven from you. Please pardon me. I did not see you. My laughing was for a different pastime of Radha Krishna I was seeing. And because of that I was laughing. I cannot tell you. He said, but somehow, since I have to pacify you, I will tell you truth. At that time I see Krishna was, Radharani wanted some flower which was high top up in the tree. And Krishna pulled some branch down and asked Radharani to hold the branch and pick the flower. And when Radharani held the branch, Krishna left the branch and Radharani was just hanging up in the tree. And so I was laughing. I did not see you at all. So the point is, this is Bhagavatam says, therefore never offend anybody. Because we don't know. And therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, amanina manadena. Never expect that people should respect you, but give respect to all. Trinadapi sunichena, become humbler than blade of grass. Tarorapi saishnu, become more tolerant than a tree. In Punjab, at some time which is presently in Pakistan, Lahore, there was a king ruling there at that time. He was Sikh, Maharaj Ranjit Singh. And there was a tree in his courtyard of the mango. So some boy outside, like when he wanted to stone the mango to get the tree to get a mango. Somehow the stone hit on the king who was sitting in the courtyard. And here's the blood coming. And the police caught the boy. They brought him in front of the king. He said, you hit me on the head? He said, no. So what you were doing? He said, well, I was hitting the tree to get the mango. King said, my God, tree by hitting by a stone get mango. I am king. I must give something more than tree. Otherwise, I am useless. He said, this is his realization. If you hit the tree, you get the fruit. So you hit the king, you must get something more. Otherwise, you are worse than tree. Otherwise, you are worse than tree. He said, where are your parents? He said, I am just living in a cottage. He said, don't worry. From today, the whole government will take care of you. You will be educated. You will get everything. This is a realization that are we worse than tree? Tarorapi saishanona. We should be more tolerant than a tree. Amanina manadena. Never expect any respect, will give respect to every day. Kirtan yasara sadahari. Then our chanting will definitely bring the taste. The taste, this is Nama Ruchi. Nama Ruchi Vaishnava Daya. These are the two standard instructions of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We can get only taste in holy name, and we should have a mercy, Daya to the Jiva Daya. On every living entity, see, there are two words in Sanskrit, Kirpa and Daya. In Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna undercame Kirpa, Kirpaya Vishtam. Second chapter, first verse says, Tam tatha kripaya vishtam ashru purna kulekshanam vishidantam vidam vakyam vacha madhusudana. Kripaya vishtam. Kripa means to have feeling for own relatives. You know them. And when they are in difficulty, you become, concerned about them and to help them. That is called Kirpa. But Daya, you don't know who they are. But you bestow mercy on them. That is called Daya. Like Prabhupada went to America, he bestowed mercy on the people he never knew who they are. That is called Daya. So Jiva Daya is not Kirpa, Jiva Daya. You don't know them, but you bestow the greatest charity to them. And the greatest charity, according to Nectar of Devotion, is giving them holy name. The greatest charity is giving holy name. And therefore Mahaprabhu said, chant holy name in the streets. It will enter in the ears of the people. And it will purify them. So Sankirtan movement is most powerful because we are giving in charity holy name. Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. Wherever you go, whoever you see, just chant the holy name. This is the Upadesh, means instruction of Krishna. Sara Prithvi te yatra nagradi gram. As many villages and towns are on the planet, earth, everywhere, there should be heard holy name. So how can be done? Only when the devotees go and chant in the street, then there will be transformation. This is like this is the best charity we can do. So most important, basically, what we are reading here is the devotee's characteristic, chanting holy name and serving Tulsi. So the verse here says, thus one can make vigorous spiritual advancement. How? By watering Tulsi in the morning, by offering prayers to the Tulsi, and by chanting Mahamantra. 3 things. Then Prabhupada said, thus one can make vigorous spiritual advancement. Vigorous spiritual advancement. It means we advance very quickly. This is not at all difficult. One simply has to follow the instruction of the spiritual master strictly, Vaidhi Sadhan Bhakti. Spiritual is what does spiritual master give? Bhakti Lata Bij. The spiritual master gave Bhakti Lata Bij. And the Bhakti Lata Bij is instruction of the spiritual master. The instruction of a spiritual master is called Bhakti Lata Bij. So, then everything will be successful in due course of time. And this due course of time depends upon every devotee's, is reciprocal to our dedication and surrender. It differs for all people. Some devotee very quickly advance and some take long time. So this is individual. This is not general rule. The devotee advance according to their own pace. Like everybody walk according to his own pace, and that's okay. That's all right. So we should just provide them all the facilities that they can advance. So they will advance, but in due course of time. Somebody asked Srila Prabhupada, I'm chanting for 10, 8 years. Nothing happening. Prabhupada said, I'm chanting for 40 years. It means we have to chant eternally. It's not that one day we stop chanting and when we get say darshan of Krishna, then we'll stop chanting. No. It will continue. And Srila Prabhupada gives the example of raw mango and ripe mango. As long as we are in this material world, we will have raw mango or unmature mango because we not have the juice of the mango, rasa. But as soon as somebody is transferred to the spiritual world, then the mango is ripened. Their chanting is so sweet and melodious, and it's a rasamay. Hare Krishna mantra radhara tantar. The gopis, they attract Krishna by chanting this mantra, radhara tantar. Tantar is a type of worship by which you can attract Supreme Lord. So Hare Krishna mantra golokera prema dhana harinama sankirtana. So this chanting of holy name is coming from Golok. Who is in Golok? The associate of Krishna. They chant this mantra. Hare Krishna mantra radhara tantar. Radharani and gopis, they attract Krishna by this mantra. Say this is Golokera Prem Dhan. So this is most important. When everything will be successful in due course time, as far as eating is concerned, there's no problem. Prabhupada said, as far as eating is concerned, there's no problem. If Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, supply everyone with eatables, why should he not supply his devotee? Our time is over. Sometimes some devotee heard this katha, this pastime, that Krishna will supply. He said, I am sitting on the top of the tree. Let me see how Krishna is going to feed me. So he was sitting on the tree. Because they said Krishna provide, and he feeds, he put in the mouth. So he was sitting on the tree. Some passerby, they were walking by road, they wanted to take their food there. So they opened their tiffin, and they were about to eat. By that time, some dacoits were coming on the horses. So they left the food and they ran away. Dacoit reached there. They say, oh, food is there. People left. Maybe they have put some poison to kill us. We want to see if there's somebody here. So they look around and the person is on the tree. I said, this must be the culprit. He must have put poison in this food and he want to really kill us. So he said, bring him down. He said, you eat. He said, oh, no. He said, no, he's not eating. Then push some food in his mouth. So they put some food, and they were pushing food in his mouth. And he said, my God, you want to feed? You can feed forcefully also. So the thing is, Krishna will give you, there's no doubt about this. One of the purport in 10th canto, 2nd chapter of Bhagavatam, Srila Prabhupada writes, we have hundreds of devotees, they have no fixed job. But Krishna is opulently maintaining them. Krishna is opulently maintaining them. And in Bhagavad Gita, 18th chapter, verse 58, Srila Prabhupada writes, one who is engaged in Krishna's service, Krishna become intimate friend. And he look after the comfort of his friend. Not needs, comfort of his friends. And he provide everything and look after comfort of his friend. He gives himself to his friend. Prabhupada, this purport is his personal realization that how Krishna become his close friend and looking after his comfort all over the world. And Krishna is giving himself to a devotee. So let us finish the last line of the purport. Sometimes devotee will not even bother to construct a cottage. He will simply go to live in a mountain cave. One may live in a cave, in a cottage beside river, in a palace or city like New York or London. In any case, a devotee can follow the instruction of the spiritual master and engage in devotional service by watering tulsi plant and chanting Hare Krishna. I think purport is over. Is over? Mm-hmm. No, there are a few lines. And chanting Hare Krishna, taking advice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and our spiritual master Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, one can go to any part of the world and instruct people to become devotees of the Lord by following the regular principle, worshipping Tulsi plant, and continuously chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. This is the end of the purport. Hare Krishna. Any question or comment? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you so much. We spoke about three kinds of Vaishnavas.
Yeah.
And, sometimes we hear the terms of Madhya or Uttama Adhikari, and sometimes we speak about Uttama Bhagavat. So I think there is a difference between Adhikari and Bhagavat.
Yeah, there is a difference between
and
the two.
Could you just explain that?
See, these three types of devotees are described in all our books. And there is a different criteria in different books. So adhikari means he is eligible for practice. It means one person who is applying for admission. His adhikari is applying for admission. So he will practice now. And those who are Bhagavat, they are already practiced and established in that position. So it's like Yoga Arur and Yoga Aruruksh and Yoga Arur, the beginner and the one who is at perfection. So Adhikari is a beginner and Bhagavat is at the level of perfection of that stage. So Bhagavatam, in Bhagavatam 11th canto are actually, they are established Bhagavata. Madhyam, Kanishk, they are established something, already practiced like that. In a nectar of devotion, they are eligible for that. Adhikari means eligible. So they can practice at that level. So there is a very subtle difference between the two. And the criteria is generally from Ado Shraddha to Prem. That is the yardstick on which they all are, divided. So there is a difference in all books. But generally from Shraddha to Anarth Nivritti is Kanishk. From Nishtha to Asakti is Madhyam. It may be any different levels, but the Bhav and Prem is Uttam. So this is the criteria for dividing them. But they are different in all. These words are, I have some list actually in each book from where this starts and where it ends. So there is a chart of that. But this is, standard is that up to from Shraddha till Anarth Nivritti is Kanishk. He may be only till Shraddha, or he may be reached to Anarth Nivritti, but still he is Kanishk.
Thank you very much. So the description we find of the three Vaishnavas in the Bhagavatam 11, this is the Bhagavat description, and Nectar of Instruction is more the
beginner.
And then the description we find in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, or
there also more or less beginner.
Yeah, so it's basically the Bhagavatam.
Shraddha Anuswari. This is Shraddha Anuswari. According to the faith, pliable faith, medium faith, strong faith. This is according to that. So I have this chart. If you want sometime, I can give you the whole chart of the all books and from where they start and where they end.
Because sometimes it seems that some speakers, they just mix it.
There is a difference.
Yeah, but
there is a difference.
Sometimes devotees are not aware.
Yeah, the books have all four books has a different criteria.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Thank you so much for your lecture. You were mentioning the non-enviousness that we have to develop in our heart, and non-enviousness.
Non-enviousness.
And I see myself liking to criticize others almost sometimes, but then we are too proud to say that actually I am envious, and we don't see because sometimes it's subtle. So how would you say how we can detect?
There are two categories. Father or mother can criticize their son to improve them. The spiritual master can criticize his disciple to improve him. Teacher can find fault in his student because he wants to improve him. So if you are finding fault in others, you are authorized for that to improve them. That is not enviousness. But if you find fault in somebody to bring him down, to defame him, then it is enviousness. So it depends upon your motive. If I see some devotee in the temple who is doing something wrong, I am not authorized to tell him anything. But I am sincere to Prabhupada, and this is Prabhupada's center. So what I should do is, I should go to the authority of the temple and tell him that I don't know him, I have no enviousness with him, I am not against him, but what he was doing is not in favor of our movement. Now you take responsibility because he is under your care, so you improve him, and then you forget that. So finding fault in others, not to bringing them down, but to improving them is not enviousness. And there are some people who have that authority, like a temple president for the temple devotees, spiritual master for his disciple, parent for their children. They may become angry on them, they may find fault in them. That is not to bring them down, but to help them to advance. That is not enviousness. That is a different thing. But enviousness means to bring somebody down, to defame him. But all this is ultimately for a good cause, to protect the Prabhupada's, mission. Then there's no problem. Because your purpose is a higher purpose. But it should not be personal motivation. So everybody has this software to find fault in others. But now we have to put another software to find good things in our fellow beings. You have that glass by see good things in others. Then faults will disappear. Dronacharya asked Duryodhana to go and find out the bad people in your city. And same city, Yudhishthira was Duryodhana asked to find out the good person in the city. And Yudhishthira was asked to find the bad person in the city. By the end of the day, both came, and Duryodhana said, there's no good person in the city. And Yudhishthira said, there's no bad person in the city. In the same city. They have a different opinion, because Yudhishthira only saw the good thing in people, and everybody has some good thing. And Duryodhana only saw the bad thing in people, and everybody has some shortcoming. We all have some shortcoming, and we all have some positive good things. So if Prabhupada saw good things in those early days hippies, he did not see the bad thing, he only see the good things. And he fanned that good thing so much so that it became a big fire, and all the bad things burned in that. This is the devotee's approach. You find the good thing and fan in those good things, that the bad things disappear automatically under that good. This is the devotee's approach to find bad things in people, to improve them. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. तो प्रसाद
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna, Hare
are speaking continuously Bhagavatam, and Bombay are speaking.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, Gauranitai. Gauranitai. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
want to take things? Bring this chair. There, I'll sit on this chair. What is your good name, maybe? Bhakti? Bhakti Yamuna. Bhakti and Yamuna. No. Yamuna Devi. No, but Yamuna. But someone said you gave your name Yamuna. Good, good, good. Oh. You are from this Maya Plaza? Where you are from?